What's up, everyone? Today we're taking a look at everyone's favorite X-Men pop star. We've got Dazzler from the Marvel Legends Warlock wave from Hasbro. All right, let's take a quick look at packaging here. And this is, as always, it's standard Marvel Legends stuff. We've got our figure in the window box on the front with the series and character name down on the bottom. We've got some artwork of Dazzler on the side. The back has a shot of the figure as well as the other figures in the line and the Build-A-Figure, Warlock. And then we've got that artwork again on the other side. So let's pull her out. All right, here's our figure, and right off the bat, I'm relatively pleased with her. I think she's halfway decent. I think the costume choice might put off some people from buying her because she's obviously representative of a specific era of X-Men and a specific era for Dazzler. This is her older outfit. She's had a lot of outfits. I think I prefer her blue one from the 80s, 90s era more than this kind of disco-inspired outfit. But it looks pretty decent, and I'm not really upset that they took this route. I think this is more iconic for her character, so it's not too unexpected. I just think it might turn off some people from buying her because she's going to stand out, especially against other X-Men. She doesn't really scream superhero when you look at her. And there is some parts reuse here. I think the torso, at least the actual abdomen area, is like the same thing that's on Kitty Pryde. I think the upper thighs are as well. But some of the sculpt work on her is pretty nice. There are obviously some new parts here. So let's just go over the figure real quick. We've got pretty standard articulation here overall. Let's go over that first. So head moves all the way around, and it can move up and down. It moves down better than it can move up, and that's just because she's got this, huge head of hair. Arms go all the way up. They go all the way around. There is just a single jointed elbow, which is not too unexpected for a female Legends figure. We've got a hinge and a swivel at the wrist. The upper torso has some rocker. Pretty decent range of motion. There's nothing hindering it, so that helps. And then we've got nothing at the waist, though. It's just a piece of plastic. Legs go out only a little bit. They're not too wide. And we do have that thigh cut. We have got double jointed knees. They go up pretty far. There's nothing at the boot or shin level. And then we have a hinge, and that's about it at the ankle. Mine are really, really tight. I don't know if that's a problem for other folks, but that's just something I've noticed. As far as the sculpt, the overall sculpt goes, I think she looks good. She looks true to the character. This is, kind of the form you would expect Dazzler to take. She's a smaller, more petite character. I think this body mold fits her well. We've obviously got these kind of bell-bottom type pants here, and then she's got her roller skates, which have some kind of like checker pattern that's sculpted in there. So that looks pretty good. The wheels look nice. The hair is really well done. It's got a little bit of a wash in there, but it just looks good. I don't really have a whole lot to complain about. There's not a whole lot special about her, though. Obviously, she doesn't have a lot of added detail to her. She's mostly just a female figure with, roller skates on. And then she's got her kind of disco 70s style collared, I don't know, whatever kind of shirt you would call that. And then we've got the necklace here with a disco ball on it. It's free moving. You could take it off if you pop her head off. And it's got little sculpted chain links in there and sculpted lines on the disco ball itself. So she looks good. It's a solid looking figure. I don't have any issues in the sculptor articulation department, really. This is kind of what I would expect her to look like in a Legends form. As far as paint goes, most of the figure is molded in white, but the legs look different than the torso to me. The legs look slightly darker, so I don't know, maybe they're painted, but they certainly look molded in white plastic, but this looks brighter than these. The chest is molded in a skin tone, and then they painted over it in white. We've got the hair with kind of that orangish yellow. It's not blonde like in the comics, but the lighting in here might make it look brighter than it actually is, but it's a little more orange than blonde to me. But it looks good. The face has her metallic magenta lipstick, which is in place, and line work is tight on that. And then we've got the obviously the paint on the face, which is that bright blue, and it looks really good. I don't have any problems with mine. And we've got the the dark eyeliner and just the white pupils. So her face looks really good. I think that's kind of the biggest draw for me, is the fact that her face looks good. And, you know, it's a nice face. I can't really say too much more than that. The only thing I have a real problem with so far, and maybe it's just because I'm still playing around with the figure. These are kind of initial impressions. Is that at times I have a problem standing her, and I think it's mostly because I'm still working through these tight joints on the ankles. But when I first got her out of the box, I couldn't get her to stand up worth a damn at all. So obviously she's standing up now, but it could have just been something that I was having an issue with when I pulled her out first, and these joints were maybe a little too stiff, and she was kind of in a janky pose. But overall, pretty decent figure. I don't think she's a showstopper in the wave. She has become pretty hard to find so far. I mean, I've only seen her one time, and I immediately scooped her up. But every time I've found these in the wild, and granted it hasn't been a lot, she has already been gone. So, take that with a grain of salt. But I wonder if she's going to be harder to find than I might have initially expected. So let's take a look at her accessories now. Okay, as far as accessories goes, she has three if you count the Warlock arm. I'm not going to talk about it here. I wait until I get them all to talk about the figure itself. We've got her microphone, which at first I thought it was molded into her hand, but it's actually not. It's just loose. It was just, it's in there to begin with. And this is kind of my one real gripe I have with this figure, is that I have almost lost this thing about a dozen times since I got this figure out of the package. I may need to tighten up her hand a little bit, but it will fall out. So be careful with it, especially if you're going to try to get her in like a singing pose. I've seen it just sort of pop out, and I've had to go digging for it. So just keep an eye on it. Otherwise, it's a decent accessory. It's just a microphone. It's got a little sculpted detail on it. Nothing too crazy, and it's got a little bit of a wash on it, so it's not just a piece of gray plastic either. So it's decent. It goes with the figure. I'd be surprised if they didn't include it, but I don't know if I'm really gonna display her with it or not. It looks kind of, I don't know. It looks kind of funny next to a bunch of other superheroes. The other accessory she has is a blast effect type thing, and I've said in other reviews that I really hate these. I think they're way overused in the Legends line, just not necessarily this specific one, but them in general, because there's this one, and then I think there's another type, and then there's the one with like the bubbles on it. I just don't like them. This one actually fits well with Dazzler though. I like the effect. I like the multicolored aspect of it. Maybe that's what it is. I like the fact that it's different tones of we've got green and yellow, a little bit of purple in there, and then the kind of red pink. So I think it definitely fits her. So I'm really glad we got it. I would have liked to have gotten maybe another hand and another one, but that's probably asking for a little too much in a Legends figure. So I'll take what I get here, and I can display her well with just the one. So overall, I'm relatively pleased with her accessories for sure. All right, now overall, I'm honestly a bit more pleased with this figure than I thought I was going to be. I didn't think she was going to be anything special, and again, she's really not, but I think they executed the figure pretty well. She is indicative of the character. They got the look down pretty well, and she doesn't offer anything special in terms of articulation or really in the sculpt department either, but she looks like Dazzler, so I can't argue that point. They made this figure look like the character. They gave her accessories that fit the character, and despite not liking these blast effects anymore, I like the one that they gave her, so that's an added bonus for me. I'm glad I was able to get a hold of her because, like I said, she might end up being tougher to find because so far that is my experience. So only time will tell on that one because it's still early in this wave of Legends. So overall, I think she's a good addition to the wave. She is a kind of an oddball in terms of her look, but this is the Dazzler look. This is the iconic look. So I can't really argue the point of them putting her in this costume. She just might look a little weird next to a modern Wolverine or Cyclops to me. So that's going to do it for this review, everyone. As always, stay tuned for more. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think of this wave so far. I've only got Shatterstar and Dazzler. I'm still on the hunt for some of the other ones. So, what have you found? What do you think of them so far? Let me know. And until next time, everyone.